Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday show. It is the Inter United podcast. This is Matic TV, and today everyone seems to be just taking a bit of a break. But your original YouTubers are here, the guys who were there from the get-go, basically. We're talking a lot of England, let's be honest, because like it says there below, it's coming home, Saeed, isn't it, mate?
It's coming home, man. We're believing, man. It's coming home, man. Listen, I've not felt like this in a long time, man. I'm telling you, man. It feels like 2018 all over again. You know what I mean? Everyone's united. Everyone's together. There's no rivalry. I wish football was like this all the time, man. I don't know. You know what I mean? Imagine there was just like, you had a club footballer. You had to support one team. You know what I mean? Imagine that, man. But, yeah, man, it's good. It's good. Good vibes. But something feels different this year, man. We just got more. I think the manager's looked at it, and I think he's kind of learned from his lessons. I think the players, we've got squad depth. You know, I think Grealish didn't even come on, did he? You know what I mean? So I just feel like we're buzzing, man, and we could take anyone on. If you told us now we're playing France tomorrow, honestly, I'd be like, yeah, bring them on. Obviously, I know they're not in it, but, you know, I just feel we've got that much confidence. We can do it, you know. It's coming on.
That's it, mate. It's been some standout performances. I think for me, the difference that you said, then it feels different, mate. Owen will be joining us shortly to get the Irish perspective on the England front, which will be fun. But you said it then, mate. It feels different. What is different, mate, is 5 clean sheets in a row side, mate. And at the heart of that, mate, the 2 main men for me, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Wow.
Yeah.
Performing at top level right now that I'm watching, mate. They have had a tournament and heart. And let's not forget, neither of them started this tournament, but since they've come in, you ain't moving them, mate, are you?
No, man, and it's crazy because I don't know. I didn't say I felt for Mings, but I thought Mings had a good first 2 games. Or the first game, he had a good game, and I thought, you know what, fair play to him. And then he got displaced like that, mate, because he knew that Maguire was the one, and Luke Shaw's playing unbelievable. I mean, 2 assists yesterday.
Ridiculous,
you know,
mate.
I think he could have got a few more in the first half if people were in the box. You know what I mean? There was no one in the box. But a few times he whipped the ball in. And yeah, for me, listen, everyone knows what I think about Maguire. I've always rated him. I've always said there's a few moments in the season where I felt disappointed, but doesn't mean that I know his qualities. I just felt disappointed in him that he didn't kind of take us where we needed to in terms of his defending, and his concentration wasn't there. But I've always believed in Maguire. And I've said it, maybe, and I feel like for me, Luke Shaw's come in there. I mean, we see Sancho. Listen, man, defense immaculate. I mean, no goals conceded. Has that ever happened before?
No, not that I thought one of the statos on one of the broadcasters might have brought it up to find out the last time, but this is, do you know what, mate? When you can win ugly and run through it, and I remember making the comment after the Croatia game, said, perfect start. I even came on this channel, I went, perfect start. Don't want to go crazy and look brilliant straight away. Look what happened with Portugal, 3-0 first game. They're gone, finished. Do you know what I mean? So starting, just get the wins, get the points under the belt, get through, and then ease your way into the competition. My God, England are just doing it, mate, because we got through the group stages scoring 2 goals, mate, and now we've scored 8. And we've still not conceded. So for me, you mentioned it there, mate. I want to talk about Harry Maguire in a second. I'll just get through some of these super chats here. England are hitting form at the right time. Bang on, alien, mate. That is exactly what is going on. Jerome T. Green's in here with a super cheers, mate. I sincerely hope Ole will be ruthless next season. If we do buy Varane and the CDM, he needs to split up Maguire. Magaluf and I like that one actually. And Fred, I was trying to think who's that then, but Jones just dropped a new one on me now. I've not seen that one yet, but cheers to that. We are going to touch on the United squad and what possibly that might implications of signings coming in may have on the squad. We'll touch on that and some other news as well before we finish up. But on Maguire there, mate, one thing I've noticed, it's like, you said it then, towards, I would say, the middle end of the season. We were like, oh, my God. I remember loads of people bringing it up. There was the Sheffield United game. There was him throwing players out of the way. Sort of, you know, mate, his positioning was scrutinised.
The West Brom game, West Brom, where Lindelof, You know what I mean? There was a kind of game. And I think a lot of people just kind of like, will say to you, oh, but he didn't play well. But for most of the majority of the season, he played well. It was just some kind of games where, as a whole, United were poor.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? There was some little things that cost us a game. If we'd have been more kind of powered up front and we had a bit more about us to go and win the game against West Brom, to go and win the game against Crystal Palace, so certain games, I think maybe all these mistakes would not have been kind of like, highlighted. But because of the fact that we haven't scored or we've had a lot of draws this season, it kind of has made it look worse. But on the whole, for me, Maguire has improved our defense in terms of what he's given us, what he can give us. I just feel like for me, a lot of people give Maguire a lot of stick because of his price tag. He never was going to be 85 million worth, was he, Adam? Never.
No.
You know what I mean? It's rare for someone to fulfill their 85 million worth, mate. But have we got something that we needed? Yes.
100%, mate. 100%. And what's come into it, I'm just going to bring Owen on here. I know we're biased England fans who are riding the crest of a wave right now.
Yeah.
But Owen, mate, in terms of the United's clientele, pal, welcome to the show. Hope you're drinking loads of water after your hangover this morning, mate.
Well, I've actually drank enough to kill us a couple of horses, I reckon, the amount of alcohol has got into my body.
Celebrating with the English, mate. I can't fault you, mate. I can't fault you. Owen, no, we're talking about Maguire here, mate. And one thing that came in to me when he jumps into this England team, it's just looked even better. It's looked more solid. And you know what? It looks like he's taken charge, mate. It looks like he said, this is me, work around me. Simple as that. He's come in and he's a leader, mate. It's quite simple, plain to see for me, mate.
It's brilliant because all my mates that were slating him throughout the season at United can't tell me how great he fucking is now that he's playing in an England shirt. I think it's just, there is a thing against United players on the whole in terms of the press because it gets coverage. If you put Man United's name on something, it always gets coverage. I think that's what it is. Yep. You don't see it in the same way you've seen Greenwood got absolutely caned by the press. Phil Foden got fuck all. Like it's just the way it is. I think United players are always going to get more scrutinised. And Harry, I'd say made similar amounts of mistakes as to lots of other defenders throughout the league. I'd say he had a better season than Wesley Fofana, but Wesley Fofana is talked about as the fucking second coming of Paolo Maldini. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. And Harry Maguire looked absolutely unbelievable yesterday. And I'm delighted when he scored. It's very rare that I'm happy to see England never score, but I was. So I think he's mint, and I think Shaw's mint. I mean, it just upsets me that you lot have nicked our two best players and they're playing really well for you.
I see you celebrating now, Owen. I see you celebrating when England's coming home. I've seen you.
After about 15 or 16 pints, when you're in the boozer and everyone's singing it, you will join in.
Yeah, the Harry Maguire song, come on. Did the Harry Maguire song crack out, Owen? You know that's
I cracked the Harry Maguire song straight out. That was coming on.
That is the best song. That's my favourite one. That one.
No, I think my favourite one is "Don't Take Me Home."
Yeah, that has to be, man. That has to be.
That's the best one.
Don't take me home. You know what I mean? And Southgate,
you're the one. Do you see Atomic Kitten actually sung that in?
I know.
Box Park in Croydon. Yeah.
Any other time, that for me was cringy. I don't see this in the video, Adam. It's
that one yet.
It's cringy.
Who put it up?
Oh, no, the best bit. The best in terms of in terms of England songs and highlights was seeing John Barnes doing the John Barnes rap. That was the highlight for me. That was.
When did John Barnes do the John Barnes rap?
He did it in the box centre, mate. He was there. He was doing it in front of all the fans. It was before the Germany game. But he was there singing it, doing the John Barnes rap. Absolute quality.
I haven't seen that, but that does sound like it'd be fucking hilarious.
You imagine that with England fans in front of you, and then he cues them on. We're singing for England, and it goes off. It's absolutely epic. It's brilliant. But, I mean, Harry Maguire, absolutely immense. I've seen your super chat, Ash, as well. We're going to touch on some of the possible signings and stuff we can do in the transfer. I have footage of Owen celebrating England.
Wow. Bring it out, man. We need it.
Aliens tag for his Instagram, and you can all have a laugh at Owen there. Well, Owen,
last night I wore my Ireland shirt to the pub.
Go on Instagram, Owen's Instagram. He says to go on every week for a good laugh, and there you go, people. That's what you get.
Right. That was what I put up last night in the boozer. Me, my mate, England top. Cut back to me. I'm in my Ireland shirt. Don't fucking give it, Lawrence. Don't fucking give it.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a jacket because it was pissing down with rain, you dick.
When was this?
Mate, what time was this? Where was you, Owen? Was you down south or up here?
I was in the Life of Riley in Belmont, which is a phenomenal boozer. If everyone is ever around the northwest London area.
Okay then. Looks like coming away days might be one place to start. But back to England United players, Harry Maguire. I mean, it wasn't the easiest of years for him, guys, but I'm looking at the way he stepped forward there, and it's quite obvious in terms of how we need to be looking at this as United fans, how the United hierarchy, the United coaches, Ollie himself needs to be looking at this. And I think he has realised it, that you have to build that defence around Maguire. You've now got the perfect centre-back. You've now got next to him what I cannot think of a left-back who is better than Luke Shaw right now, Saeed, mate, because he has come in like Harry Maguire, not from the start in this competition. I mean, Southgate was playing a right back in his position to start. Do you know what I mean? Trippier. He's come in, and him like Maguire, he's just gone, sit down. This is mine. Yeah. And he's claimed it, mate. He's absolutely nailed it, because I'm looking at the team in the quarterfinals, and it's full of United players, mate. It's full of England United players shining big time today. So how the hell is it not working for us when we've got so many good players in our team that are playing for England and shining right now? Because let's get into Luke Shaw, mate. All the crap that he's been through this year.
Yeah.
Crap from Mourinho. He's come in. He's had his best season for United by far. Yeah. And I think everyone's agreed on that. Yeah. He's probably behind 100%. Bruno only for Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's come straight into the England team, mate. Being under scrutiny, only just coming back into the team. Is he going to be able to do it again in an England shirt? Mate, I think he's answered every single critic going.
Yeah. He looks like he's never been, you know what I mean? It's like he's never left that place, you know. And I think for me, like, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but Brandon Williams, there was a time when Brandon Williams took him out of the team. And I was like, wow, man, that's Luke Shaw. Been here 4 or 5 years. I think there was a video of him. Today I had a video of Schneider scoring his first goal for Man United. And Luke Shaw was in that video. One. Yeah, Luke Shaw was in that video. And I was like, wow, that is when he came to the club. You know what I mean? So we've had to wait for this consistency. But when we've got it now, I think it's been unbelievable. It's been refreshing to see. I think for me, I doubted Shaw. I was like, nah, mate, he doesn't look it, man. I don't think he's ever going to fulfill his potential. But he's come here, he's thought, nah, Tennis ain't going to take my place. And he's stepped up massively. He's given us that kind of feeling of, you know what? You know, it looks like, you know, we've got balance now. England have got balance. I mean, Chilwell, Champions League winner on the bench. See you later, mate. You know what I mean? Nah, he's taking his spot. Southgate loves him. You can barely beat him one-on-one. Like, for me, that's always been his solid point. You can barely beat him one-on-one, you know, and he's attacking. I mean, he had 2 assists, but he could have got more. You know, so we have to big up Luke Shaw, man. You know what I mean? I think he deserves bigging up. I think, you know, fair play to him. What a story to come back from injury, to come back, you know, from what he's been through. And I think, you know what, credit to him where he deserves. And you see it there, Roberto Carlos is commenting underneath his post. Did you see that, guys? I already seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, man.
He sees it, mate. I mean, Owen, mate, sure. Great season at United. And you know what, mate? I think I looked at the stat last night and came up. I'm pretty certain, mate, he's up there with the most assists in the tournament.
He is forever and now and will ever now be known as Shawberto Carlos. He is no longer called Luke. He is called Shawberto Carlos. He's fucking mint, man.
For anyone who doesn't watch this show often, Owen's got a repertoire of these abbreviated names, bringing back. What was the?
Jimmy Garner, the Birkenhead Busquets, as I like to call him.
Wow,
that's the one. But go on with Sean, mate.
He looked at the tweet when I tweeted out the video, so that gassed me up anyway. So I was all right with that. But Shaw's been amazing. And I don't support England, but like watch a tournament for me, like the exciting bit is when I look through it and I'm able to see United players doing well. Yeah. And that's what it was like. It's just to see, H and Shaw be doing so well, and Rashi's looked all right in the parts where he's played as well. He's not done anything bad. And our mate, our new man as well, Jadon Sancho in there looked like he did quite well. I mean, it's just looking well for next season. I'm excited. I'm ready to get my heart broken because it has been for the last 7 years. Nothing but absolute heartbreak following this football club. But I'm hopeful. I'm more hopeful now than I think I have been since Sir Alex has left. Just because of the way we're going. I think I'm very hopeful.
I mean, Said, mate, is there any shout? And I'm not getting carried away with this by any stretch of the imagination at all.
It's coming home.
So I'm not even going to go into the coming home side of it, mate. I do think that I honestly see the threat and the danger in Italy. But I'll get onto that in a second. Is there any chance that we are seeing a bit more of a result in terms of how things are done in terms off the pitch with our squad and what's actually happening? I know a lot rides on what actually finally does get done by the end of this window, but having the same man in for more than 18 months, are we seeing the progression from this? Are we seeing something from this? I know a lot has to happen here now, but the Sancho saying, like Owen says there, then it looks like we've bought a player that's going to come and fit straight into our team. We got Harry Maguire, you know what I mean? Straight in. Bruno Fernandes, straight in. Some of the signings now, mate, are looking like, and you mentioned then Schneidlin, for an example.
Yeah.
These players that just not there, but we're looking at these signings now, and it looks like we're actually buying the right people who are going to come in and do a job. We're actually, and it's taken our time to get them over the line, but is there a shout for it now saying that we are doing it the right way? I know it's a hard one to say.
Yeah, it's a hard one because, you've got to choose your words. I would say for me, it's the right step in what I call a direction of where we kind of go. Varane for me makes sense. Sancho made sense, although it should have happened last year. You know what I mean? So do you give that kind of like quality to say they've got it over the line? You know what I mean? I think there is kind of praise in a way where they're trying to get it done now. The bit where I just think they've got to kind of do is they've also got to stop this, notion of giving players contracts like Mata. I know we'll touch on it a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I think they've got to do it right now. This is the thing. They've got to do it right in terms of the outs and the ins. They've got to correspond. They've got to correlate. They've got to kind of make sense. And I feel like once they do that, once they assemble a team capable of winning a title, because for me, we can't have an 11 that's quality, and then you've got guys on the bench who are not favoured of the manager, i.e. Donny van der Beek, i.e. bringing a left-back worthy of Telles. For me, I think Telles is a starting left-back. Do we need Telles on the bench when people are going to be like, you know what? Why have you got a left-back on the bench who you probably think isn't going to start? You know what I mean? And you're not going to put him on when, say now against Crystal Palace, I don't know if you remember the game, but I thought Rashford was down and out. I thought he looked injured. He looked tired. We needed to bring someone on the left. He didn't bring on Dan James. I don't think he brought on Amad Diallo. I think he might have done, to be fair. But we need someone on the left. Why not get a left winger or something like that? Joe, the kind of thing for me is that we've got to buy players more that are going to fit the squad and win a title. Because, Man City, I've got so many people on the bench that are just there. And they'll come in for 20 games. Like Mahrez. Mahrez doesn't not necessarily start every week. But when he starts for 3 or 4 games, he ends up playing for the next 20. Because the manager's like, you know what? Form brings you a lot of success. And they went on a 20 win with a winning streak. So things have got to correlate. And I think it's the right step. And I think for me, it's what you do now. Can you get Varane on the line? Can you get a DM? If we do that, then we can talk and say, you know what? Right, so Alex Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, let's see what you're made of now. Because for me, you've got no excuses now. I think he's had no excuse beforehand. But this season, blimey.
This is literally do or die tackle right now.
Do or die, exactly.
It was it might have been Jamie who said in our group last night. He went, shall we talk about Jadon Sancho? And I just used the word filth. Man alive, to come on 5th game into a tournament when it's been going on and to just stand out like that. That is what, and I'll come to you in on this. Said just touched on it there, mate. with Sancho and the possibility of him playing the way he played last night, having just not kicked a ball for 5 games, coming in a quarter-final and do what he did last night. Say he touched on it, City have all these big players on the bench. Man, we could start next season, mate, and have Rashford, Martial, Diallo, and Donny van der Beek sat on the bench, Owen, waiting to come on.
Well, that's what we've been talking about, trying to have that for how long? Like, we need you need that level of depth now if you want to win a Premier League title.
On that note, mate, that is literally what we will have, Owen, at the start of the season. Is there no excuse? Like no,
there's no excuse now. There's no excuse now. We have to be like it has to be like there can't be anything similar to this year. It has to be like, if we do lose it, it's got to be like fucking in dramatic 2012 style. Like, there's no excuse otherwise, really. To be honest, there has to be a serious, like, actual challenge and the sustained belief that we can do it, and there has to be some kind of silverware. Because, in all fairness, man, it's been a long time.
He said we talked about no excuses. Owen there, mate, and Jerome there. Cheers for the super, Jerome, mate. Top man. Doesn't matter how good the bench is. Ollie doesn't know how to rotate. This is something
that's my point. Yeah,
he's got no excuse with that many players, that much quality on the bench, mate. You can change a game like that, surely, Owen, mate. That's them players there. And I know there's a shout for what's Martial's attitude going to be sat on the bench now he's top dog. Do you know what I mean? As Donny van der Beek come back, we've all seen him pumping the weights in the gym, trying to get ready for the season. Love to see it. It's great. Has he learned enough from this season and what it's going to take to get through all that? Because let's be honest, he's going to be there. He's going to be with us all next season. So Donny van der Beek has to basically go, right, how am I going to win Ollie over? We're shouting out to the players now to be knocking on Ollie's door and actually putting pressure on him as well, Owen. And I think this season, it's not just Ollie, mate, but a lot of these bench players are going to be going, if I don't do it this season, then I might not be getting back in this United shirt. Martial especially. Another season for Donny van der Beek, like last season, mate. I don't see the point in him. He has to do something.
I honestly think Martial is out the door.
You think he's toast?
I can't see it. I think we thought we had it when he had that sort of consistency the season before last. I just don't think he's there. I think he's a very good footballer, but I just don't think he's going to be our man. I want him to be. Like, I was there the day when he scored against Liverpool, and I thought we'd signed the next best thing.
Me too.
I just don't see
Mike Tyler's fault. Mike Tyler's fault.
Yeah, Martin Tyler gave it large that night.
Cursed him.
Martin Tyler, but in all fairness, I just cannot see Martial being an elite level player. Like, we all know that there was a fucking Ballon d'Or clause in the transfer fee. I mean, there's no chance of that happening. So, like, he's just, I don't know. I feel like maybe it went to his head a bit. Maybe he thought he was better than he was. Like,
he's got one more season. He's got one more season. You know what I mean?
Again, it's Saeed, mate. It's this season, isn't it? Again, for everyone.
For everyone, yeah.
We said last season, didn't we?
But you've got
last season. Go on, Owen. Sorry, mate.
But you've got to look at it like this. In terms of the way that the Glazers are going to look at it, in terms of Martial is their asset, that's what they'll look at it as. And if they don't sell him this year and he has another season like last season, they will not get more than £20 million for that man. Yeah. If they sell him now, they could probably get 40.
This is the problem now, mate. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking on social media about good stuff that Murto has done in the past and what he's actually been involved in the club, in setting things up. I know he had big parts playing, setting the women's team up. He's done some dealings with this new Sancho deal that's come across right now. But Saeed, one of the bigger problems is Paul Pogba entering his last year of a contract. And this could pull the plug on any sort of groundwork that Ollie's put.
Did you hear the news today? I think it was the last night or
PSG
yesterday.
Now?
Yeah, PSG like proper.
Yeah.
So I think they're really after him now. And I see him on holiday. You know, it looks like he's trying to weigh his options.
Do you know what, mate? This is when you worry, isn't it, with Pogba? When he starts leaving England and going on holidays and talking, this is when all United fans start going, oh, no.
I know.
Mate, just let him fuck off at this point. Honestly,
I'm fucking sick of it.
Every fucking summer. Every fucking summer since he signed for us. I'm sick of it.
It's bound to happen.
Mate,
it's Man United not doing their job.
Yeah, but if you were going out, say if you were going out of a bird and every fucking weekend she starts chatting up some other bloke, you wouldn't be happy about it, would you? I'm sick of it, mate. If you don't want to be here, fuck off. Honestly,
now, the thing is, though, I think it's Man United offering the right deal, and also Man United, trying to find the ambition. Are we winning trophies? This is the problem. We need to know what people really want. A lot of people come here to get the wages, though. You look at Juan Mata. Everyone's telling me that we need experience for Juan Mata. I mean, experience, mate. He's only won 3 trophies since he's been here. And how many years has been here since 2014? I mean, that's the problem. Mate. A lot of people think we need experience. We just need winners. We need people who are going to come in here and come here and aim to win, mate. And that's the reality of it, man. So 1 year for him, 1 year for Lingard. It won't surprise me. Pereira's going to come back now. It's going to be like, right, I'm back here now. You can't displace me.
Do you know what I mean? At this stage, as a football club, you've got to be looking at it going, Grant, no value. Mata, no one's really going to buy Juan Mata. We're not going to get a lot out of him. If these players like Bruno and Pogba, we need to get these deals done, is it not worth just letting these other players go just so we can use their wages to put into a new deal for these guys and keep the books the same? Use some managerial sense.
Am I the only one that's never been more baffled at anything as to why the fuck Lee Grant has signed a 1-year contract extension?
No.
Mate,
we've just signed some Heaton.
Heaton's just signed. We've had Henderson come out, David De Gea come out, the club come out on both of these players saying they are determined to be United's number 1. I'm like, no, you're going to have to make a decision. I'm sorry. Right now, we've got 4 goalkeepers. We just let one go.
Lee Grant is absolutely living life, mate. Imagine this, coming away from leaving your home and training and just coming out with the lads and you're getting paid weekly, mate. You know what I mean? Like
and 30 bags a week. Not like a small wage, a good, very comfortable living. And he's
I'm not trying to say, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to judge anyone, but bloody hell, United just looked at it and thought, they've got Lee Henderson, we've got Dean Henderson, David De Gea. We could easily promote a youth teamer, but we've also got Tom Heaton. Yeah.
I'm actually baffled, with the Tom Heaton signing.
I'm baffled as well, but it's for the app, though. I got a message today from the app. Living the dream. It's like, oh yeah, we're still talking about the history of him with
that money.
Honestly, I was like, it's got a picture of Tyler Ferguson, and it's like living the dream. I'm like, Man United, mate, what are you doing? We're not here for no photo gallery. We're here to win trophies.
Oh man.
Oh my.
We've touched on it before, though. The Pogba one. I mean, Said, you talked about ambition there. Where's the club going? Signing Sancho and Varane in the window would, for me, then say, this is what we're doing, Paul. Take it or leave it, mate. Here's a good contract. No one else in the world is going to be able to offer you this. If you don't want this one, then I'm in Owen's boat there and say, look, mate, if you don't want it, you go. It's fine. We move on. Let's just end this saga now. Or you finish your career at United. Because let's be honest, this one's probably dragging out because Paul Pogba's got one more big move, and then that's it. He's into his 30s, and he's then seen out the twilight of his career. And for me, this is his biggest one. It is, isn't it?
But do we need this though? This is kind of a. I think this is a dodgy one,
The balance, isn't it? This is a big balance this summer.
This is the balance. A lot of people will say, I think Owen's maybe decided enough, but a lot of people will say just sell Paul Pogba. But if you lose Paul Pogba, and there was games last year, whether we like it or not, Pogba showed up. Fulham.
Yeah, but how often does he fucking show up?
No.
Is he now worth it? The grief that he causes within the camp, because I'm sure that does cause grief.
The problem is, though, if you go sell him, how many players of that quality are we going to go and get? And do you trust Man United to go and get a DM and another central midfielder? Because you've got to still replace Paul Pogba, Can you tell me, have you got faith? So by the time he drags it out, when does the transfer window close? Does anyone know?
31st of August or the 1st of September, either or.
Well, there you go. So this drags out.
Normal one, didn't it? Yeah.
They've got probably an extra week ahead of us. If he drags it out, he keeps flirting with him. And next week, we've got Varane and Sancho, but we haven't got a CDM and we haven't got someone to replace Pogba. So they're really stuck in it, and they're really stuck with the worst scenario ever, because he could leave at 29 as a free agent. That for me is scary.
That's too. We can't let that happen. I think the club are going to be embarrassed to let that happen twice. That would be criminal. But God, sorry, Colt repeating on me there. Honest now, Owen, mate. I'll ask you, out there right now.
Yeah.
Who is Pogba replacement tackle?
I
don't think there's a midfielder for me that I can pinpoint and go, yeah, that is similar. I mean, you could forwards. I can see plenty of forwards out there available. Midfielders is a rare commodity right now in this market, mate, isn't it? It really is, because the best are all aging that I can see.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm fucking sick of him. I'm honestly, I'm done with
You're
him.
Not the only one, Owen, mate. You really are not the only one.
Honestly, my old man has hated him for ages. My old man's hated him for ages because of the circus around it, and I've always backed him up. But I'm now at a point where I've just gone like, do you know what? I'm done now. I'm done. I can't do this anymore, man. Every summer we're asking, is he going to stay or leave? And it seems like he wants to go. He doesn't. I think if it wasn't for Ollie coming in, I really think he would have left the club. I think he was going to leave under Mourinho, 100%.
Yeah.
He stayed because Ollie was his youth team manager, and Ollie sort of, brought him up. So So he's not. So he, out of respect for Ollie, I think that's probably what he stayed for. But he just doesn't want to be here, and it's clear to see from some of the comments he's made. So if he doesn't want to be here, just jog on, man.
It's a difficult one because, again, Man United are saying to him, right, do you want to stay? But then he's thinking, I want to. The problem is that United, though, they should have increased his contract while Ollie was about to. When Ollie came to the football club, they should have increased his contract then. Because at that point, he would have probably said, you know what, right, I will increase my contract, Ollie's here. But now he's seen that Ollie's not really capable of winning a trophy or hasn't won a trophy while he's been here. He's thinking, right, I'm on 300 grand a week. How can I push this further forward? Juan Mata staying, we're signing players here who are getting wages and not really playing. Why don't I put my contract to 400 grand a week? PSG will pay that. They're giving Herrera 300 grand a week. They'll happily pay 400 grand a week for thingy. But the problem is, where do Man United stop? Is Paul Pogba worth 400 grand a week? That's the reality of it. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think really any player of that quality, especially when Man United have winning trophies, should be worth 400 grand a week, because we simply cannot afford that. When you look at the fact that we're winning trophies, and if it's to the detriment of us buying a centre half, who then he's going to ask for 300-400 grand a week. He's not going to mess around Varane. He wants big wages. So it's one of them for me. I'm just looking at, I think, Paul Pogba, you can't sell him. You really, really can't sell him, because for me, it's irreplaceable. Because I look at the market out now, who is going to take over Paul Pogba's position? And I mean, a lot of people can say, well, has he been consistent? But it's not about that, though. It's about finding a midfield of his quality to go in that team. It's rare, mate. It's rare to find in this era of football. Someone that is a box-to-box, someone who's strong, someone who's powerful on the ball.
Honestly, I'm that sick of him now, mate. I'd have Conor fucking Horahan for United at this point. Like, I'm that sick of him. So I'm really not that bothered.
Steady on. Owen's 15 pints there kicking in. But it's not only apparently Paul Pogba, and this will change Owen's tune dramatically. And Mr. Bruno Fernandes now seems to be all of a sudden priority talk for United in terms of renewing his contract as well. Isn't this ideally what we should have done with Paul Pogba then, Owen, and got these talks down? Like Saeed said then, isn't it a case that, we're seeing an asset in Bruno Fernandes and the club are doing the right thing? It's like we cancel out one good thing with one bad thing at the moment. And who is going to win the battle, the good or the bad, this summer, mate? Because at the moment, it's very well balanced. The Sancho deal has been sort of lowered by, I would say, the contracts for Mata, Grant, and then signing Heaton. That's sort of really not inspiring me at all. Sancho, I think, can be a world beater. You sign Bruno up to a deal, sell Phil Jones, replace Pogba or sell him. For me, Bruno Fernandes, I think it's a no-brainer, this one, mate. Let's just give the guy what he's worth and move on to the next target quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's worth his weight in gold. He's unbelievable. So give him a contract. I mean, in my opinion, you're sort of your five or six, players that are never going to go out of the first team. They should never have less than 2 years on their contract. You should never put up the likes of a Paul Pogba, a Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford. You should never get it to the point where they have less than 2 years in their contract. That's how a top level club should be run. But
it's a money game, though, isn't it? United now. Whoever wants a lot of people
with that contract, they're protecting their investment. That's like that. To try and see it from their views, they should be seeing it as they're protecting their investment because they're losing out on a fucking massive amount of money now if Pogba leaves on a free.
Well, that's it. So
make a
really,
decision.
It is a massive one because I'd say what's Bruno got? Bruno must have 3.5 years left on his deal with that extension on the end. So this is right and the right way to do it. Apparently, Luke Shaw as well is ready for a bumper deal. And like you just said then, Owen, mate, you're talking about the 5 or 6 players in the team that need nailing down. We've got future in Shaw, future in Maguire there, Bruno definitely. And why is there this sort of mist and this aura and this atmosphere on Paul Pogba's one? And it sort of boils into the case side, like Owen said there. Is he fully committed to the football club? This is where it's hard to decide with him because on the pitch, you go sometimes in the way of what he's done for France in this Euro, people say he made the mistake. But I look at the good.
No, he was best player for them.
I think he has been France's best player.
Easily, yeah.
And for me, I'm just looking at it going, why are you ruining it? Because you had an half-decent season. You could have maybe progressed after a good Euros and really took off. But we know this deal's not going to get signed straight away. It's going to drag out a big circus around it, mate. But would say a signing like Varane convince him?
Yeah,
say, look,
I think it would. I think it would.
Teammate, a World Cup winning teammate coming to the club at the prime of his career, that would say, all right, these guys are not messing around.
I think it would. I think it would. And I feel like, as well, I think the pressure of a big club like PSG where you don't perform, they're giving them white handkerchiefs, Real Madrid, they'll just be like, right, next one, please. Whereas at Man United, we have this kind of like, I think a lot of people have that love-hate relationship where, it gives you that kind of feeling of, what, it's brilliant or whatnot. I've always, for me, said Paul Pogba's a brilliant player. I've always said, have Man United got the best out of him? Probably not in a situation where, especially at the start when he was playing with Michael Carrick, coming towards the end of his career, we were playing him with Schneiderlin, there were certain players that were in this club and I thought, nah, it's not going to work out, is it? And I just think for me, United have got a big decision to make. Do they say, right, we'll give them a big contract, or do they say they wait a year? I think Man United, either way, are not going to be prepared because I don't think we're going to replace him. And I don't think we're going to kind of, next season, going to be ready enough to find a replacement. I think people are saying on the chat here, Camavinga. I know he's a quality player, but he's, 17, 18? You're going to put that pressure on that young kid to fill Paul Pogba's boots? I think it's too premature. Do you then splash out 2 or 3 players on him? You only got to look at when Gareth Bale left the football club. They tried to buy Paulinho and certain other players and it didn't work out. So they've got a big problem. That shouldn't be our problem. That's Man United's problem. They've got to get it done. We can only just say when he comes on a football pitch, we support him. If he wants to leave, he can leave. But end of the day, Man United need to sort this out. It's up to them in a sense that they're dragging this out. Apparently what the situation is that Paul Pogba's not heard from them and he's not giving any indication that he's staying. So if someone's got to give, whether it's Paul Pogba's got to give, Man United have got to say, right, here's a contract, sign it or leave it. And if it says leave it, we go buy replacements. If not, we're going to be stuck here. Paul Pogba leaves in late July, and we're a ticking bomb. And then we sign Ruben Neves from Wolverhampton, and it's like, is it a signing that we need to buy? So it's a different one, but we've got to get it done. Goretzka for me would be a shout. I like Goretzka. He's a winner. I think he could. I wouldn't say he's Paul Pogba's replacement, but he would get you goals from midfield. He's powerful. He could give you that kind of box-to-box kind of feeling. So I would go for maybe kind of Goretzka. But again, Bayern Munich are saying that he's not for sale. So it's difficult, man. It really is difficult.
What about Calvin Phillips?
Nah, it's for me. Yeah, it's one of them for me. I'm not sure, to move up that level. I think you need a player of mentality that's going to come in and take it, by the. Oh, is he gone?
Adam's left his own show. Lovely.
No, when he heard that Phillips, when he heard the Leeds player, and he thought, "Nah, I can't be having that Leeds player."
Upset?
He was that upset, mate. You know what I mean, man? What are you doing to him?
I've done something upsetting to him. But in terms of a DM, though, do you not think that Garner could come in and do a job?
Who?
Garner.
Nah, not really. Too early.
I think he's going back on loan to Forest, but I'm not sure. But I don't know. I think he could do
I wouldn't even tell him to go Forest. I would go like a Brighton or something, or go back to Watford. I know Watford didn't fancy him, but go back to a club where it's Premier League. I think Ghana can play in the Premier League now, but just not at a high level. Maybe like a Burnley, maybe like a Crystal Palace. Somewhere where he's going to be playing week in, week out, or getting game time. So I just look and I think they need that sort of player. But again, it's difficult because for Man United right now, they focus on Varane. How long will Varane take? A lot of people talk in the chat, but how long is Varane going to take? Come on, it's not one of them signings that will get it done like that. He will take his time. They'll take his time. And then by the end of it, they'll be like, right, we'll give you a contract now. Yeah, 400 grand a week. Because I just can't see for the life of me Real Madrid selling Varane when they've sold Ramos. And they're gonna. Are you telling me they're gonna rely on what's his name?
Militao
and Jordan and Alba. Even though Alaba has said I don't want to play in defence.
Well, he's back. He's back. What happened there, man?
That was a nightmare. What the fuck? I tell you what, he's clinging on to his contract, but Woodward has just cut me out big time there. I'm telling you, man. Before he's gone. Yeah. Anyway,
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Varane will decide in 3 weeks.
Oh,
he's on vacation for 3 weeks now.
Anyway, where was we at?
Was that just about the Pogba? I said, take it or leave it. You know what I mean? If he wants it, Man United needs to come forward, and he needs to come forward. They need to meet. You know what I mean? In the middle.
Yeah.
And if they can't, then for me, can anyone see him signing a contract in mid-season? Yes or no? For me, no. He won't sign a contract mid-season. It has to be now. And do I feel like it's going to happen now? Not for me. So again, it looks like a free transfer. You know what I mean? So if it means that we win a trophy, maybe would it be worth it if we got a trophy at the end of it? And Pogba was part of that trophy.
Right. So but you're saying he's not going to sign mid-season, and I see that point. But if you then say the unthinkable does happen and we do win the league next season, I'm not saying it will, but we get the right signings in, and we do get. And we get to that point and we win the league, and I'm drunk for about a month and a half because I'm the happiest man in the world. But if we win a big trophy at the end of the season, could that not sway him?
Oh, well, that could sway any player.
Exactly. So if we win a Premier League trophy, wins it with his best mate Rafa Varane, Jadon Sancho, Rashi, and I don't know. I feel like that might be an option for United. Obviously, you can't bank on winning the league. That's not a good way to do anything. But I think that's probably our best hope of keeping him if we want to sign him on. Because I don't think he's going to sign a contract this summer, and I don't think he'll sign it during the next season. I reckon we're probably going to hear by end of January that he's already pre-agreed to go to PSG.
Yeah, probably.
And then how do fans being back in stadiums take to Paul Pogba then? Is it going to affect his performances? And is it worth even being in the team if they start getting at him? And then it brings everyone else down. You just mentioned the atmosphere right now. Everyone at the club loves him. But if they all know that he's leaving at the end of the summer, are you going to get a swan song Pogba, i.e. giving it everything he's got to win as a trophy, like he said before he goes? Or are we going to get a one that's not really that bothered what happens because he knows he's already set and he's already ready to go to Paris? I mean, this, like I said, is a massive one for this window, and it could put a dampener on anything good that does happen, because right now, in terms of incomings and the way we're working, I said about a week ago, I'd be worried if nothing happened in the next 2 weeks, because obviously a new July had come. Obviously, contracts are ending. People are moving on. It's getting official with a lot of things. Sancho's done and dusted. I like that. Done. Yeah. Finished before the Euros. We're just waiting for him to finish. Varane were making moves apparently, but Real Madrid now are sort of playing hardball, which you'd expect them to do because we don't match very well in the transfer market, United and Madrid. We really don't. But then you look at it and go, if this, like Saeed says, then I think it could be detriment. It really could. I think it needs sorting this summer, personally. Otherwise, I think we've got a problem.
For everyone's sake, I think, for everyone's sake, we need it sorted. But again, you know what I mean? Like, do we concentrate on that too much? Have we got the facilities? Have we got, have we got the enough people in the team to be sorting that out and sorting a deal for Varane, sorting a deal out for centre defensive mid? I think that one's a bit scary for me, the defensive mid part. I know we can get a centre back, but bloody hell, mate, we've got Fred in there, man. You know what I mean? I want to displace that. I want either a CDM.
Fred's doing bits this summer, man.
There you go. So I think we need to sort something out. But again, there's Matic in there. There's people still haggling over there. So again, we just need to sort this out. But are Man United going to be doing that? That's the real problem. Sancho alone won't fix our problems. So again, we need to for me, we need to get it sorted ASAP, man. But we're looking at Mata, man. Mata's getting the contracts, man. Maybe it's like, when you first come, first serve. Maybe it's that. Maybe, Mata's coming in there and saying, listen, I want a contract. Thinking comes behind him, the keeper. And then they all come in one by one, knocking on the door, saying, can I have a contract? You never know.
Everyone knows where I am with Juan Mata. I just think it's ridiculous. I'm not this sentimental type in terms of, I understand that he's a great lad. He may be happy friends with a lot of people behind the scenes, but Owen, I've not had Joe. I don't think I spoke to you regarding Mata. Where do you lie on the Mata situation? Are you one of them? It's just time to let go. It's
time to move on, man. It's time to move on. I love Mata. I think he's not don't get called the nicest man in football, for no reason. But at the end of the day, now we're not a fucking retirement home. We're not a charity. We're a football club. We're a business. We need to be ran like that. As in, I like Mata. I think he was a great player for us, but I don't think he'd really had many great games for 2 years now, probably, lads, I'd say.
Yeah.
He had a couple in Europa League every once in a while, but realistically, he hasn't had a good string of games for, I'd say, a couple of years. And I honestly think it's just time for him to move on. I think I was probably thinking he was going to move on when Herrera left. And then he signed a new deal. I would have much rather have kept Ander Herrera than kept Juan Mata at that point, because I think Ander Herrera contributed massively to our team, and I just don't think Mata has been a consistent performer for us for a number of years. Like, he's a great lad.
He's been a good servant.
But I think it's a year. I think it's a couple of years too long, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah. Remember, it could have been after that game against I think in 2019, mate. When I thought Juan Mata was 31, then I said David Silva's 33 and he was still performing, So again, it's one of them for me, I think Man United are looking at it thinking experience, but what has experience got us? What has it got us? It hasn't got us anywhere.
But I think Mata just needs to go back to the Mestalla and be treated like a god. Like, he'll go back to Valencia, they'll love him. I think he'll tear it apart in La Liga.
Can they afford him?
Yeah, they can.
Can they afford his wages?
What is he on here now? 70?
70?
He's dropped his wages drastically.
Has he dropped his wages then?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He's dropped him to about 70k, but again, it may sway people and go like Saeed's reaction. Then it was like, he's at least dropped it, but I'm thinking 70 grand can go towards Pogba's deal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
To fix the fucking leak in the roof of the stadium.
Yeah, he's not doing anything, because I look at Mata. When everyone's fit, guys, does Mata get on your bench?
No.
But the thing is, it kind of asks you the question of what is the reason you're staying then? Like, are you staying because you're not good enough for other clubs? Are you staying because you know that you might not get another deal that you want? Like, what are you staying for, mate? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say he doesn't deserve 70 grand a week, but I'm like, why are you staying? What are you offering?
He's very settled in Manchester, and I don't think he wants to leave. I think that's it. Like, he loves Manchester. I mean, why wouldn't you? His restaurant's across the road from 42s, so I mean, he's obviously he knows the scene. But like, he's settled in Manchester, so he doesn't want to leave, and he's been offered a deal, so you can't blame the man for taking it. But it's the club. It's the club that you've got to talk about here, and how poorly they're run, and the fact that I think Mata should have probably been let go a couple of years ago. I mean, I do hope he gets what he wants. I hope he gets a move to like Everton or something, so he don't have to leave Manchester. He can just get the fast train from Victoria.
Cheshire over there. That's simple, mate.
Cheshire, they're all in Cheshire anyway.
Smash the like button, people on the video. Let's get them likes up before we finish off. Quickly, guys, before we actually do go, has there been any holiday romances in this Euro for you? And by that, I mean, they look good on holiday, i.e. in the Euros, but then when you get back home and it's the cloudy, overcast weather of England, they don't look exactly the same. Is there any out there that have shone in this
She looked great in Malia, but when she got back to Manchester, she weren't bright.
Lindelof.
You
know why I say that? Because I don't, and this is not against like Lindelof, because I think he's been all right for Sweden. He's defended well, but I think a lot of people will look at thinking he's been brilliant. You know, I mean, he's been everywhere. And I think what Sweden have done though is they played a flat like 4-4-2, and they've defended so well as a team. So everyone's going to look at it. Think,
you know what Sweden have done, mate? They've played an 11. That's their formation.
11, yeah,
it's
exactly.
11.
Yeah,
and it's all behind the ball. But I mean, people are saying
you've gone now. Where you've got
another one. Fred's another one. Anyone else? Owen, for you?
I mean, do you know what? One is probably I'd say is Patrick Schick. Just because if you ever seen him before, like he was awful, and he's had a great tournament. So I'd say Patrick Schick is one of them. Like typical, I'd say he'll probably be bought by someone like AC Man. Well,
Dare I say it? Another Karol Poborski.
Another Karol Poborski. I mean, there have been some, but even like the 2018 one, I think it was Denis Cheryshev. Like he was linked with everyone under the sun because he scored a couple of great goals. Now that was just because the Russian team were definitely doping anyway. Because there's no way that they would. How do they get to a quarterfinal of a World Cup? We do not know.
They showed exactly what they're made of in this Euro competition.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
But, no one for Locatelli.
But Locatelli was a good footballer anyway. I think he'll be.
He was a good footballer. He was a good player. I think he's been very lucky to be taken out of the team. But he's another one again. I mean, if Arsenal are trying to buy him, I mean, what are we doing not getting him? You know what I mean? It's crazy. But
mate, imagine, right? If we sign Raphael Varane for 50-60 million pounds, and Arsenal in the same summer sign fucking Ben White for 50 million quid. If they do that, they are over as a football club.
Apparently Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea are interested in him now as well. Very interested. Apparently Dan James is being touted by Brighton as well.
Yeah, Brighton, you know what I mean? They always buy like fast wingers, don't they? You know what I mean? They never do well. You know what I mean? So I just hope for everything.
I don't know what it is with Brighton, but how can you play so well and be so crap?
I know.
Everyone raves about Potter, but I'm like, how are they down there? Because I look at some of their players and I go, good team. So-called good manager, great on the eye. How are you where you are? But
I know. I heard about Diallo as well. Diallo, possible loan.
Would you send Diallo out on loan this season, Said?
I wouldn't, because for me, the problem is, but then again, it would have been Juan Mata and Dan James out, and I would have kept Diallo because I feel like, for me, his technical abilities in Europe would have been vital. And possibly he could play in the FA Cup, Parabel Cup. You know, there is a place for him, but again, he's going out on loan. So then, imagine we put Dan James out on loan and Diallo, and then when something happens where we need someone to come in, it's like we've got nobody there. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? So I would keep Diallo. I don't know what people in the comments would feel, but I would keep Diallo.
Guys, would you loan out Diallo this season or not?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you loan out Diallo this season?
I think I would, to be honest, in terms of after the Sancho signing. Or maybe what I would do is I'd probably wait until January, see what sort of game time he has been getting, and then decide it from there. So, like, just give him, get the League Cup games and stuff like that. So, give him that time and then see from there, I think. And then, mate,
if
he's not getting enough game time, let him go in January.
Actually break it all down from what you guys have said, and then knowing how much pressure Ollie's under this season, that one player
more pressure
that I do feel is it's Martial. Everything's sort of moving away from him, innit? It's like because Ollie's signings. I mean, Ollie's just brought in. He's brought in Diallo. He's brought in Cavani. He's brought in obviously Sancho now as well. That front line. He needs his signings to really stand up for him this season because I think this is his last chance. Is Martial going to be able to get back in this team? He can't. I'm not saying Martial's a passenger, but sometimes when the chips are down, you don't see him. And he's going to put his workers in, isn't he? He's always going to go to his workers rather than the flair, I think, Ollie. And I just fear for Martial this season. I really do. I think he could, again, but...
He will definitely start.
Owen's talking about the what's the name? They're securing their assets in these contracts and whatnot. But when you're not playing, your value's just going lower and lower.
Yeah, and he will definitely start the season, though, Adam. He will definitely start the season because I think Cavani's out of the Copa America. He's going to get at least 3 weeks holiday.
Quarterfinals today, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's out. I think Colombia took them out. So he's out. So he will definitely get the start of the season and. I think Cavani's always going to be a slow burner anyway. He won't really start the season.
Yeah,
I think then Ollie will test him for the first couple of weeks, and then he'll be like, right, if he doesn't perform or the team are not performing and he's not getting the best out of Martial, then by October time, and I think after the international break, you'll start to see maybe Cavani shifted in. But again, it's how he starts. Man, if Martial starts on fire, I think we're loading back and we're kind of saying, right, we've got him now. Let's see if he can drive us forward. For me? It's the last season. It's the last season, do or die. If he plays well, then you can say, right, let's move on. But if he doesn't,
you pretty much nailed it there, mate. I mean, you could have Rashford on his operation, like Big Ron said there. Cavani having a few extra weeks because of his exertions over in South America. Then you've got Sancho, who's been all the way through. He's going to get a rest. Diallo. There's only really Greenwood, who's probably ahead of Martial right now. But with all the others getting a rest at the start, I mean, Owen, he has to hit the ground running at the start of the season then, doesn't he? Otherwise, he's just going to get... I think he's just going to get weaned out again. And it's how he reacts to it this season, I think, Martial. I think attitude and, I won't say commitment, because obviously he is committed, but he needs to start producing very quickly at the start of the season, mate.
He's got a year to prove it. That's it. He's got a year.
I don't think he's got a year, mate, because I don't think he's going to get much game time once everyone's fit. Honestly,
no, I don't think he will either. But he has obviously that start period, but he has this season, and that's his. I think this is his window of opportunity this full season. And if he doesn't produce like he should and like he's expected to, and you're talking about the attitude. His attitude has been questioned constantly since he's been at the club. I think it's just because he's French. I mean, like French geezers are just, by most of them anyway. Most of them I've come across in life and footballers are either arrogant or they come across arrogant and they seem a bit of an arsehole, to be honest. But it's nothing against French people, but it's just, I don't know. I think that they've just got a bit of an arrogance about him more than others. And he just always looks like a face. He's got a face like a slapped arse like 90% of the time. It just it goes into people's heads and makes you think that he has a poor attitude. But he's got a chance to put his socks up now, prove his point.
For you then, Saeed, mate. Obviously, the window is going to be 3 weeks into the season this time. Yeah. Is there a case for Jesse Lingard starting the season?
I just can't see. Adding value. Jesse Lingard will start the season. Yeah, of course.
Taking the place of a few other players. You know what I mean?
I think he will. I really do. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but Jesse Lingard's probably thinking, right, I've not got the England team this year. You know what I mean? You only got to look at Sancho yesterday. I mean, before the signing, he wasn't getting the team. As soon as he signs for Man United, he's straight in the team. So again, I just look at it and I think he'll be thinking, right, Sancho, Martial, Rashford, there's a little bit of an England call going on there. So I can get in that gate team, and I know it's a push, but if say Bruno Fernandes doesn't start the season well, and Jesse Lingard scores off the bench and he starts scoring impact goals, he gets in the England team in September, because remember they play again in September, they always play in that international break. He gets into that team, he starts to feel confident. He goes, you know what? The World Cup's around the corner. If I can just play for a year, and somehow get into this World Cup team, this is probably going to be my last World Cup. Yeah. I think, you know what? Let me try, because at West Ham, it's about a lot of people say, right, you should have been in that England team. But again, when you look at the fact that when he's at United, you just have a bigger chance. It just happens to be, you know, I don't know what it is, but you play for Man United and your name's sold, isn't it? So I just feel like he's just going to carry on his dream and thinks that he can still play for Man United. You know, I just feel like he's going to do it. But I could be wrong.
That's it, guys. We are finished for the show. We've taken it well over an hour. We could have talked about so much more. The guys' tags are there, but I'll give them a chance just to shout them out again just before we leave. Saeed, mate.
Yeah, man. Matic TV here. Come find me on there. And yeah, man, just keep subscribing, and we'll be back, man. I can't wait for the season, man. Can't wait for the new season, man.
We have got some joint brand new content and all sorts going on planned for the start of the season. Back on the road, that's where it's happening. Owen is going to be playing a big part, as you know.
I'm a silver member now as well. I'm a silver member, so I can apply for away tickets.
Aways, and we're going to get chubbed every single one.
No more £150. No more £150 spending away tickets. Honestly, a lot of people think away tickets are like £30. No,
no, £30 if you get it in the ballot, which is fucking hard enough to do. But oh mate, if you buy a ticket off a tout,
I've seen what the England squads are going for. I think one of my mates has paid 1,200 for a ticket for one ticket. People.
A mate of mine has got a ticket for the semi and the final, and do you know what the worst bit is? He told me 800 quid, and I thought it was quite cheap.
That's cheap, no?
For the two games, 300 for the semi and 500.
That's not too bad, that, you know.
Before we start a new conversation altogether, and give the people a shout out before we go.
Cotty Red 99 on all the socials. I will be getting back on it eventually, but I mean, I've been getting on it, you know, on drink too much at the minute. So I've been, I'll be back on and doing stuff when United get back on, because at the moment Ireland aren't really doing anything for me. So just having a bit of a chilled out summer. But and then
normal football.
Owen Rocks 1 and on Instagram, and 19th of July nightclubs do open in this country. So I mean, stay tuned. That's all I'm saying.
Guys, if you want another form of entertainment, then that is your place to be. But guys, for now, we are out of here. Give the video a like on your way out, people. Hit that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time. Like I said, loads of content coming up for the season. And obviously share the videos on all your socials. But for now, guys, we are finished. Enjoy the rest of what's left of the weekend. I'll catch you in the week. Stay posted for the updates on what videos are coming. I do let you know on the community tab and on all socials as well. They are below. Drop down in the description. For now, we're done, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.